This is the whistleblower that supposedly disappeared. He's in Israel, and he is having a very tough time. The DOJ is desperately trying to get him back to the States, and I don't think they want to have a conversation. It certainly, if they did, wouldn't be friendly.
Good day. My name is Dr. Gal Luft. For the past 20 years, I have been the co-director of the Institute for the Analysis of Global Security.
So we're self-soothing with the rocking on top of the fact that he is reading. Now, I have to put into context that the reading is probably there because of the nature of what is going on with him. He is a whistleblower. So you need to be very careful about what is said so that they can't come get you via law. You want to be on the side of right as much as possible. So any official public statement needs to be squeaky clean.
A Washington-based think tank focused on energy security. For the past 15 years, I've been a resident of Israel. And for 4 years, I was senior advisor to the China energy company CFC, at the same time of its dealings with the Biden family. Under normal circumstances, I would be testifying before Congress about my experience with CFC.
All right, so we've stopped reading as far as verbatim. He can have some people sit there and they'll actually write verbatim speeches out for this is how they talk. And then you can have those that have bullet points that they want to go over and they just kind of wing it, which sounds more natural for those that can do that. And I believe he has that bullet points because he's not looking at it verbatim.
Sadly, due to circumstances I shall describe here in this video, I am forced to tell you this story via video. My ordeal goes back to a fatal decision I made in March of 2019 to share with the US government my knowledge about the Biden family's relations with CFC.
So we see him tracking on the bottom. That's a verbatim read, but then he goes off. So I'm going to go with bullet points.
I want to be clear. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I have no political motive or agenda. I did it out of deep concern that if the Bidens were to come to power, the country would be facing the same traumatic Russia collusion scandal, only this time with China. Sadly, because of the DOJ's cover-up, this is exactly what happened. The DOJ sent to Brussels a delegation of 6 people. 2 prosecutors from the Southern District of New York by the names of Daniel Reichenthal and Catherine Ghosh, and 4 FBI agents. One of them was Special Agent Joshua Wilson from the Baltimore field office, which also happens to cover the state of Delaware. Now you want to ask yourself, why did the government dispatch to Europe so many people? Why 6? Why not 2? The answer is that they knew very well that I'm a credible witness and that I have insider knowledge about the group and the individuals that enriched the Biden family.
I keep waiting, and I keep waiting for him to reference some kind of memory because there are parts where he does verbatim reading and parts that he does not. He kind of remembers. In his RAM, he's very good. It's like, I should see, of all the things that he talks about, of what he did, what he knows, some kind of memory reference. And I thought, well, maybe he's just that good in his memory. It's all in RAM. So I was waiting because as much as things sit in RAM, they can only hold so much before it cycles. And as he's reading, I'm not seeing any reference. I gotta go back.
Sadly, because of the DOJ's cover-up, this is exactly what happened. The DOJ sent to Brussels a delegation of 6 people. All
right, so he stops there, like stutters. And instead of referencing his brain, because that would literally be a normal thing, and then to go to what you wrote down, even if it was a slight reference. Because you stuttered, I expect to see some movement in those eyes, referencing the brain, because obviously it's not in RAM, so you have to move. But he doesn't. Not a quick, not a nothing. He stops, stutters, and then looks to what was written down. And I find that really odd. And I don't want to put any more conspiracies out there because I just did Gates. And that's looking weird too. This whole thing smells, well, it doesn't smell like petunias. It doesn't smell like rotten fish either. It's an unfamiliar smell, and I have no idea what it is. And no, I do not want to hear about military tribunals. I want show me the money. So patient zero apparently is not a blip in the radar during this hearing, which you think he would be. And by the way, I just want to put this out there. Isn't it funny? The Israeli guy, Mossad, and the U.S. apparently could not get Mossad to cooperate in handing him over. Just those little things that make you go, So this is tail spinning into the whistleblowers who came before Congress from the IRS. Now, we're not going to be looking at all this testimony because I'm sure most of you are like me. We already know this stuff. They ain't saying anything new. The biggest takeaway for me of this is nobody mentions patient zero. Nobody. They don't talk about why he's being prosecuted. Nothing. No one talks about patient zero. Which then led me to sit there and think, are these whistleblowers even real whistleblowers? Because we've seen fake ones.
Thank you, Chairman Comer, Chairman Smith, Chairman Jordan, Ranking Member Raskin, and members of the committee. Today, I sit here before you not as a hero or a victim, but as a whistleblower compelled to disclose the truth. That said, in coming forward, I believe I'm risking my...
So we are seeing some stress. The big deep breath, the shoulders go up. He's moving around in his chair. He's stumbling over his words, even though they're written verbatim in front of him. And we could chalk that up to a few things. The fact that he's sitting in front of a committee and they're higher, which then puts stress on the mind. Or it could be that he really is a whistleblower, which could be, technically that really could be where the stress is, but I find it really hard to believe because the context is we've seen whistleblowers be attacked by the IRS. That is not an unusual thing to have your whole life ripped apart because the IRS closes all your bank accounts, puts liens on things that you thought you owned, and destroy your life. So for IRS agents that are whistleblowers, and it seems like nothing horrible is happening to them, it is suspect.
My career, my reputation, and my casework outside of the investigation we are here to discuss. I ultimately made the decision to come forward after what I believe were multiple attempts at blowing the whistle in the Internal Revenue Service.
So apparently he made multiple attempts to blow the whistle. And he's able to give very good eye contact in that. He is continuously stumbling over his words and he's jittering around as he does it. So because we can balance that with he's giving very good eye contact to people that, you have to be living underneath a rock at this point if you don't know that the people sitting in front of you, this committee, sends the IRS to get you. Tells me more that the context is he's just real nervous about speaking. The fact that the IRS would come after him is not even a blip on his radar.
Internal Revenue Service. No one should be above the law, regardless of your political affiliation. I humbly view my role here today as providing the facts as I best understood them and to let Congress and the administration and the public consider those facts and determine the best path forward. I recognize why I was present at the start of this investigation and was closely involved with the investigation for roughly 5 years. I'm just a part of the story. Others, including my colleague and Supervisor Gary Shapley, who is here with me today, have their own views and understandings of what took place during this investigation. I've been an agent with the IRS since 2010. In 2007, I received my undergraduate degree from Ohio.
Yeah, he's got a lot of confidence because he's given a lot of eye contact to his audience. He's looking from both sides. He's trying to encompass them in. So there's no fear there, that whistleblower fear that we have seen when it comes to human trafficking, the real whistleblowers. It's not in this guy. Let's go see if we can find it in someone else.
Thank you for inviting me to testify here today.
So he settles himself into the chair to get ready for his speech.
I want to thank every member and staffer on both sides of the aisle who work for the work you do to represent your constituents and hold government accountable.
And we're seeing the same kind of body language. He's shifting around a lot in his chair. He's stumbling over his words, but he is trying to give eye contact.
My name is Gary Shapley. I have worked as a special agent for IRS criminal investigation for 14 years. I have risen to become a senior leader in the organization and currently supervise 12 elite agents in the International Tax and Financial Crimes Group. I have worked directly with United States attorneys in multiple districts and have supervised or investigated cases in more than a dozen United States attorneys' offices across the country.
And there you see that sweeping thing of just giving audience very good eye contact. This is what speech class literally teaches you. Make sure you look up every so often. Give everyone the eye contact. That's exactly what he's doing. Let's go to the next one. And this is a Democrat about to ask a question. I know you guys really like seeing the Gates kind of stuff. Josh Hawley, he did such a good job asking nothing. But I tell you what, if I was a conspiracy theorist, maybe you could see it too.
Mr. Shapley and Mr. Ziegler, you both testified about the fact that you've been subject to criticism, ridicule, public disclosure, perhaps menacing comments because you've come forward. Is that correct?
Medicine comments?
No.
Menacing.
Oh, menacing comments.
Menacing
Apologize.
comments.
Yes, sir.
And you too, Mr. Ziegler.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I have.
That must be a terrible feeling. And whoever does that, I think you'd probably both agree, is doing a disservice to the country and to you individually. You're simply doing your duty as you see the light. Fair enough?
Yes.
Well, see, this is a little bit different than what we've seen. Where is that? When the party gets attacked, you know, the party gets attacked and you stand behind your man no matter what. And you tear into these whistleblowers and destroy them. Arr, teeth grit. Arr, arr, arr. But no, he is serious. Your lives have been changed. You see the portrayal in his face. He moves his body in like a lean in, sympathetic, become small and encourage you to talk to me. Everything's gonna be okay, Daddy's here. And what is the punchline, you might add?
I am doing my duty.
Yes. So can you imagine how the district attorney in Fulton County, Georgia must feel? Or the district attorney in Manhattan must feel? Or the special counsel of the Department of Justice, Mr. Smith, must feel? When the very subject of an indictment or a pending indictment takes to public rallies and ridicules them by name, disparages them by name, characterizes them by name, putting them and their families at the same risk you're experiencing. If it's wrong for these anonymous people to criticize you, it must certainly be wrong that the former President of the United States would demonize people doing their jobs just like you try to do yours.
See how that was painted there? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Oh, you guys are with the other ones. The whistleblowing is about them not prosecuting or going down investigative paths, but you're the same. Because everyone here says that Donald Trump is the one that was in charge. And we'll throw Biden under that bus just to take out Trump.
As they see the light. You can disagree with their judgment, but it's not right to disparage their character. And what's so ironic about this hearing is, again, not one mention on the other side of the aisle about that malign behavior by the very subject of the indictment.
All right, this is where I just kind of go, oh my gosh, really? So I'm not seeing real whistleblowers. None of them are in fear. I guess now we know why. And you start to see how they're painting this and who they are willing to throw under this bus. I guess Hunter really was the fall guy. And if it gets too out of control, then Daddy will be too, the big guy. And here you and I watching this show, hoping to actually get some justice and realizing you've been played again.
If you like it, please share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
If you'd like to learn more about analysing body language, there is a video course available on Mandy's website for Gold subscribers.